Hey everyone, Tom here, and today we're going to be looking at a very important right-hand strumming pattern for the ukulele. Also, we're going to be applying this strumming pattern to one of my favorite songs, Three Little Birds by Bob Marley. Now, by now you probably know a few different chords, and you've maybe been playing them with your thumb, just strumming down like this. And although that sounds pretty good, you might be thinking, well, that just sounds a little boring. So what these strumming patterns that we're going to learn today are going to do is turn that into this. So, without further ado, let's roll the intro. Now, before we get into the actual strumming pattern, it's important that we know just a few basic chords. So this is going to be C major, F major. Now, with just these two chords, we can play the entire chorus to Three Little Birds. But if you want to play the verse as well, we're also going to want to know G major, this one. Now, in addition to getting them to sound really good, we also want to make sure that we can switch from one to the other just sort of as fast as we can. And so it's important to really practice this stuff slowly so you can build that kind of smooth transition between chords that's going to come in really handy when you actually start playing the full song. Now, to get into the strumming pattern, we are going to need to know a little bit about rhythm. Now, there's two kind of elements to the rhythm that we're going to play. The first is called downbeats. Now, the downbeats are going to be strummed down on our ukulele, and I like to do this with the back side of my middle, ring, and pinky finger. It sounds like this. I'm just going to play a C major chord in my left hand so you can hear it. Now for us, we're going to have 4 downbeats, and we're going to count them 1, 2, 3, and 4, just like that. This is what they look like when you write them on the staff. So if I were to play this exact rhythm, I would do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this sounds pretty familiar. It's pretty much the example I gave you in the intro, and maybe the way you've been playing things so far. Okay, the second part of this is upbeats. Upbeats live in between the downbeats. So for every downbeat we also have an upbeat. And we play these guys with our pointer finger coming back up like this. The name we give these upbeats are and. So we call it 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, 4 and. So all these ands, when you write them up, you notice live right in between all the 1, 2, 3, and 4s that we just looked at before. So upbeats sound like this. 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, 4 and. Finally, this is the pattern that we're going to be playing for this song. If you notice, it's a combination of downbeats and upbeats, which is kind of what makes it a little tricky. So, on beat 1, we're going to play a downbeat. So that means hand like this, down on beat 1. On beat 2, we're going to have another downbeat. So we're going to just strum down once more. Here's where it gets interesting. On the and of 2, we're going to go up. So we're going to use our pointer finger there. We're going to go 1, 2, and. 1, 2, and. The next beat is the and of 3. So we're going to skip over 3 and we're going to play another up on the and of 3. It's going to sound like this. Down, down, up, up. 1, 2, and 3, and. And finally, we have beat 4, which again is a downbeat, and we're just going to strum it down. So all together, we have 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Down, down, up, down. Now the hardest thing about this is probably going to be not playing the downbeat of 3. So getting rid of that 3 strum, which is going to feel really, really strong, like you're going to really want to play it, even though it doesn't exist in this pattern. So avoiding that is going to be one of the toughest things. To do that, make sure that on beat 3, you let your hand go back down without strumming so that you're set up nicely for the end of 3, which you do have to play. So I'm gonna slow that down for you so you can see exactly how I'm moving my hand. Now you're not gonna hear this, but you're gonna see my hand move in that direction. So it looks like this. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So you can see after the and of 2, I'm moving my hand back down so that I'm at the bottom of my ukulele and getting ready for that 3 up strum. That makes sure that my pattern is always consistent, down, down, up, down, and I don't flip any of those around and sort of turn my whole pattern around. If you keep it steady like that, then your pattern ends up having that kind of really nice, consistent, smooth sound, and it doesn't feel like jumpy or choppy at all. So what you really want to make sure you do here is spend enough time with your right hand getting this pattern to be really, really solid. So what I would do is just grab a chord with your left hand that you're really comfortable with, something like a C major, and then spend just time doing that. It doesn't have to be fast, just make it really steady, and then the speed will come naturally. Once you can do that on C, see if you can change chords. So maybe from C to F, do that a bunch. Once you get that, then see if you can throw G into the mix. By the end of that, you should have a pretty solid sort of feel for the right hand and how it has to go. You're at that point maybe ready to start on the play along, which is coming up next. Now for this play along, the track is not gonna wait around for you, so you're gonna have to have these chord changes and the pattern down pretty solid. Also, this play along is like my favorite version of Three Little Birds, is the way I like to play it. I know a lot of people like to play it differently, and even the original version has a few differences. So we're gonna be playing my version. C major, F, and G are the only ingredients you'll need for this. And remember, if this is still too fast for you, that's totally fine. YouTube can slow things down for us. So remember, at the bottom right corner of the window, you have a little scrolly wheel. Click on that and you can slow this down to 75% speed or 50% speed, and just give yourself sort of more steps to gradually get up to full speed. So let's get started. 1, 2, 3.
Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Sing and don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. 3 little birds pitch on my doorstep, singing sweet songs, melodies pure and true, saying this is my message to you. Sing and don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Sing and don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright.
All right, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
If you enjoyed this video, give it a like below and subscribe to our channel, where you can find other lesson videos from our series Rock and Roll Roadshow, as well as original music videos, live performances, and behind-the-scenes content.